Welcome again to Braemar College. Braemar College is Toronto leading private high school. We are located just across the street from the University of Toronto, and conveniently about 7 minutes walk from the university subway. And our goal is to aim students with different interests and different academic goals. And also we seek to inspire them both in classroom and their life. In addition, we work closely with the Ministry of Education to ensure that all our courses are taught according to the standard. All our teachers are certified, and all our staff and our guidance team work hard to ensure that a smooth transition to the high school. Currently, we are offering various student programs and clubs, namely Youth Wellness Network, Exercise and Athletics, Healthy Food Program, also Bike Club, and we also have a Travel Assistance Program and Explorers Club, and many various activities. So, good news, in September 2020, we celebrated our 25th anniversary. And so happy birthday to Braemar College. And we are proud to announce our 25th anniversary scholarship initiative to celebrate a quarter century of our operation. And we're currently offering up to 5,000 Canadian dollars scholarship for the students who have Canadian citizenship or PR, or some international students qualify as well. And the amount of scholarship will depend on student marks. So now let's come back to all our panelists. We have so many people here who joined us. I'm really happy. We have here Bill Kidman, the father of our graduate. Welcome, Bill. And we have his son Liam here. And as far as I remember per our conversation, that Liam is studying at Trent University at School of Education. And his major is in history and philosophy. You can add up on that, Liam, once we'll ask you to speak. And also we have Erica here, who graduated in 2012. And she got her bachelor's degree from Ryerson University and got 2 master's degree in business from Hult International Business School in the United States. We have Maxim here. He graduated in 2012 as well. And also he graduated already from the University of Toronto, Department of Applied Science and Engineering, Faculty of Chemical Engineering. And surprise, surprise, he's currently working as a chemical engineer in the GTA. Also, whom else we have? And of course, we have Sasha. Sasha, yeah, welcome, Sasha. Sasha is our current student. His parents couldn't join us because of busy work schedule, but we have Sasha here. So welcome, Sasha. Let me remind you, please address your question. We will address all your questions at the end of the chat. So feel free to send your questions in the chat. And if you would like a specific person to reply, mention the name of this person there. So I make sure that all the questions will be replied. So let us start. Let us start with Bill, if you don't mind.
No, not at all.
Okay, welcome, Bill. And I have a few questions here for you. So could you please tell us why did you choose the school originally, and in what ways was the school what you expected, and in what ways it was not?
Sure thing. I didn't have a lot of time to prepare. I didn't see the email till just minutes before the meeting, so I'm going to just go off the cuff.
Of course. It will be honest then, right?
Yes. And remind me if I miss any of your points from your question, but for us, Liam was in grade 11 and we were living in Fredericton, New Brunswick at the time. And as he got into grade 11, Liam was considering doing university in Toronto. So it seemed like, for us, a good way to, we decided maybe he should finish grade 12 in Toronto, get used to the city, and also make sure that his education received in New Brunswick was going to transfer over and be comparable to what he might have received had he done all of his high school in Ontario. So for us, it was just a decision. It made sense, and we were mobile at that time, so we were able to just pick up as a family, move to Toronto, and Liam was able to attend Braemar. So location-wise, it made sense for us because it got Liam into the city and got him familiar with what he might experience there. I have to admit, I found Braemar off the internet in just a private school search of Toronto, and at the time, we were not limiting ourselves to choosing between a public or private school in Toronto. We looked at 3 other schools while we were in Toronto. As part of their options for Liam. In the end, it came down to we really liked the model, the education model that's used in Braemar in terms of the flexible semester system. The way that the day is structured, you have a very deep dive in the morning and a very deep dive into 2 subjects. You're not moving between many classes. So that the way it's delivered made sense to us. It also, the advantage of having the option of going to school in the summertime, although we never had to use it, it was there for us if case Liam, being in the last year of high school, you never know how things are going to go. You might miss a credit. And then for us, there was an easy way to make sure that if a credit got missed, we would have an opportunity to pick it up in the following summer and then not delay his entrance into university. So that would be my...
Thank you, Bill. That was great. And so I will just, since you're the only representative from the parents, I will just ask all the questions I have for you, and then we go to our students, our graduates, and Sasha, who is a current student. So what is the biggest impact the school has had on your child?
I don't really know how to put it other than for Liam, it was the right choice at the right time. And it really gave him the footing and confidence. I guess if I have to put it in one word, it would be the confidence. It is academic confidence to go off to university. I think he felt very prepared from his time at Braemar. All kids have big question marks of what university is going to be like, but I think he felt very confident from his time there.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. So, and if the school were to be represented as a single person, what would its personality be like in 3 words, and why? I know it's kind of complicated, but what just comes to your mind?
I couldn't think of an appropriate person. I have to apologize. I read this. I was hoping you would forget to ask. For me, though, I would say, like, if there was a person out there that's very consistent, that would be the person that Braemar represented, because my experience with all the different staff at Braemar was very consistent. I was very impressed that everybody seems to sing off the same song sheet there, in terms of not just, it's not like sometimes you go to a place where there are policies, but nobody really follows them. But I found all my dealings with the staff was very consistent. Everybody from Virginia all the way down, everybody has the same plan in mind and the same priorities in mind.
Thank you very much. And how would you describe the values of the school and the values of the families in the school community?
We didn't have a chance to meet very many other parents or anything, but I know, like Liam, I would say Liam is very morally and ethically driven, and he didn't report any problems there at the school in terms of in those regards. Okay,
this is great. And now let us go back to Sasha, who is a current student right now. So I'll ask him just briefly. Sasha, are you here with us?
Yes, I am.
Welcome, Sasha. Thank you very much for joining us. I know that your family couldn't join. So my first question, what can you tell us about your experience at Braemar College? You are currently studying there, right? And how long you've been studying there?
I've been studying there since September of 2018, and I am currently in grade 11. My experience so far and my general idea of the school is that it's a non-competitive yet intense education environment that is awarding personal responsibility and the ability to communicate thoughts and ideas effectively with other students, teachers, staff, and the like.
Okay. So, and what for you would, what person would be the single person for you if you could describe it in 3 words.
If I had to describe Braemar as a person and the 3 traits about that person, I would say determined, eccentric, and humble. The student environment at Braemar and the staff's general idea of the school seems to have a sense of determination and never stopping at your academic goals. However, the environment amongst students and your fellow peers is seemingly eccentric due to the melting pot of cultures that are present at Braemar, and this makes for a very interesting and spontaneous student culture. However, despite this is a lot to show for a private school, the school is incredibly humble. You don't really see kids bragging about their marks, or you don't see the staff bragging about the school either. They just know in their hearts that it's a generally good school. So if I'd pick 3 words to describe the school, it would be determined, eccentric, and humble.
Oh, thank you, Sasha. I'm really impressed. And what can you say about the values of the school and values of the families and community?
I can't really speak for the families, as I am neither a parent of a child attending school, and I haven't really met any of the families of people present at the school. But the values the school are trying to convey are mostly personal responsibility. While there is always guidance available at Braemar, a lot of what the students do is on them and them only. They try to make the students more involved in their classes and make the students more independent rather than having to be dependent on a teacher. So I think the school's main value is personal responsibility and also respecting others, which needs to come with a melting pot school like Braemar.
I see. Thank you. And what would be the one thing you would like to change in the school to make it better?
One thing I'd change is communication between the faculty and students. Now, while that might seem like a contradiction from what I've previously said, it is important to note that a lot of these students do seem timid to approach faculty such as Virginia or our 2 guidance counselors or our accountant. They seem to think that these are large authority figures they can't talk to, when in reality, Virginia and the guidance counselors are very open to talking with students. So if I had to change one thing, I feel the school should advertise to students that it is perfectly fine to go and talk to the principal or the guidance counselors or your teachers. So improving the openness of communication between the faculty and students would be one thing I'd change.
Okay. And do you participate in any activities right now?
Yes, I do. I am the editor-in-chief of the school newspaper. I'm a member of the student union, and I was part of the youth wellness network at the school.
Okay. Okay, Sasha, thank you so much for expressing your opinion. And we also have here our graduates. So let me start with, I'll ask first Erica, then Maxime, and then Liam, right? I didn't miss anybody, yeah? So the first question, what did you appreciate the most about the school during your time there, and how has had your perspective on that changed now that you had some distance from the school?
So I'm first, right?
Yeah, Erica, yeah, you're welcome.
I think the most thing I appreciate when I was studying there, and I still appreciate to this day, is the opportunity that the school gives to people to express yourself and to show your best qualities and to kind of be in charge and to practice these managerial abilities. For example, I was a president of the student union, and I had a lot of opportunity to organize different events, to different activities, to gather people together. So that helped me tremendously in my life, because now, for example, I'm running my own company, and this skill of kind of managerial ability and expressing yourself, I say, was the most vital in my experience up to date.
What did you appreciate the most about the school during your time there? And how has been your perspective on the change now that you have some distance from the school?
So one of the things that I appreciated the most was the ability to select your own curriculum and like to pick the courses that suit your needs and that are required by your university. And nobody would ever load you with the extra stuff that you do not really require. Second thing that I really appreciated was the diversity. There was a broad range of cultures represented in the school, and it was really fun and very friendly environment. So just looking back to the school, I would say the ability to build my own schedule really helped me in the university, especially in the later years when you had to pick your electives and they were 90% of your term. And as well as the diversity, because all the schools are quite diverse, and when you were exposed to all the different cultures already in the school, you know what to expect in the university because it's even broader than in high school.
Thank you, Maxim. So now the Liam, are you here? Are you with us, Liam?
Yes. Hi.
Hello. Hi. So could you please reply?
Yes. So one of the things that I appreciated about the school when I was there was the course load. I felt because there was only 2 classes at a time, it was very manageable, and I was rarely overwhelmed with schoolwork. And now looking back on it, I think a lot more high schools should be like Braemar, just because it much better prepares students for university.
Okay. And I remember your father mentioned to me that you before went to a different private school, right? In
Yes.
New Brunswick. So if you compare these 2 schools, what can you tell? What was better in Braemar and what was better in your previous school?
So overall, I prefer Braemar, again, because of the course load. That was the main thing that was different.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. So another question, Erica, you will start again. What, to the best of your knowledge, most differentiate the school from the others?
I think this is the one and only school with so much international talents that you can really learn about all the countries. And then now that it's been more than 8 years that I graduate, every country that I visit, I always call the past students and we always meet, whether it's Mexico, whether it's like Europe or other countries. And during that experience, you get to learn so much of other cultures and the way they're living. It's like traveling the world essentially. So I would say that's the #1 differentiator of the Braemar College.
Okay, thank you very much. And Maxim?
Yes. So for me, as you know, I've studied in many schools throughout my school education because I traveled a lot with my parents. So the most unique thing about Braemar was that the unique approach to each student. So as I can remember it, there were times when you would sit with the principal and discuss your plans for the future, and you would select your course load accordingly, and you would be guided with different recommendations and supported at each step. And each separate teacher would also accommodate to your unique requirements. And also what really differentiated Braemar from other colleges schools is, like Erica said, is the diversity and wide scope of cultures presented there.
Okay. And your younger sister is currently enrolled to Braemar College, right?
Yes, she is.
So what do you think is her opinion about the school?
Well, I don't think she has much of an opinion right now because she's taken all the courses online, so she hasn't seen Braemar. She only saw it
How
once.
is it? Of course, we understand that online is a little bit harder.
Yeah.
But how is it going? How are the teachers? How is the live stream? How is it?
She likes the teachers a lot. She likes the openness, and they're also, what she tells me, trying to accommodate to different students specifically, so they don't treat the class as the one uniform particle. They approach each student separately, and she really appreciates the openness of teachers and willingness to answer any questions, like to support her along the way. She definitely lacks meeting people in person. That's one of the problems of online education.
Yeah. His sister is currently in different country. That's why he couldn't join in-person classes. So we hope that she will join us really soon and she would enjoy the Braemar experience with us. And thank you, Maxime. Thank you very much. And Liam, do you have something to add on that?
It's mostly just what I said last time, that the course load is very different from most other schools. That really sets it apart. But also it's much more diverse than other schools, and it has a much lower ratio of students to teacher, which makes it easier to get in contact with them.
I see. Okay, okay. And how is your studying now at university going? Can you say that the school helped you to prepare for the university, and in what way?
I think the school definitely did help me prepare for university, because it had me do larger assignments than I had done in past high schools. And that really, learning to manage time like that really helped me in university.
Okay. And you studied with us only in grade 12, right?
Yes.
Okay. I see. Thank you very much, Liam. Thank you. And the next question. What one thing would you change? And it goes to Erica. What thing you would change in school for better if you had something to change?
That's a really difficult question. I don't know sincerely if I would change anything at all, but probably if I could, I would, how to say, I would make it more well known. It's such a great place, but I believe that not a lot of people know about it. For example, the Health International Business School that I've studied, I found that it was a very, very similar concept to Braemar, like really, really similar. It was all international. It was really similar school, and they talk a lot about them. They talk all over the world. They talk about the international experience. They talk about all the nice benefits. They made partnership with big companies. I understand it's a master's degree, so it's a different, it's definitely a different
scope. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a different scope, but I think that Braemar, it's not far away with this potential because it's really on the same idea. So maybe if I was inside Braemar, I would make it more well known because it's such a great place, and I wish more people got to experience it.
Oh, thank you. That's a very good feedback. Thank you, Erica. Maxime, would you like to change anything for better in Braemar College?
Well, as far as you know, the things that I would have liked to be changed when I was a student have been changed already. So as I heard
like
from
what?
you, and like
Could you give
other
us
students,
example?
you have more clubs, like you have extracurricular activities. Like we didn't have any clubs. We that was the one thing that was nice to add. Other than that, yeah, I think. So in my personal experience, what I would have changed is I wouldn't have taken 3 courses per semester, and for 4 semesters that I would definitely change, but it's too late now.
Yeah, we know, and you don't usually recommend the students.
Yeah,
but
I know.
Sometimes parents are so persistent, and they want, especially international parents from different backgrounds.
That's also the thing I know from the experience of my sister has been changed. There's definitely now more flexibility with the credits and like graduate and.
Yeah, and she has a spare time actually. She could enjoy. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you. Liam, anything you would like to add for that?
No,
What would you
I
like to
can't think of
change?
anything to change.
So you really liked everything?
Oh yeah, I thought it was great in high school.
Yeah. So what were your favorite courses with Braemar?
I really liked history and philosophy there.
Who were your teachers?
In both those classes, Mr. Dunsmore.
Mr. Dunsmore. Okay. Thank you, Liam. Thank you. I will say hi to Mr. Dunsmore from you. And I think that would be the last question for. I will start with Sasha this time. What advice would you give to students just entering the school?
My advice is probably 2 things. Is 1, you should understand that the courses are going to go by fast. Considering each term is only about 2.5 months, you need to stay on top of your coursework. That being said, though, don't be afraid to go out there and meet new students, because plenty of them are just as nervous as a first timer might be, and they're totally willing to talk to you and and become friends. So I think if I had to give some advice, it would be to be prepared that the courses will go by quickly, and you need to stay on top of that, and also to just be confident and get involved with your peers, because they probably want to have some friends too.
Okay, thank you, Sasha. Erica, any advice for the future Braemar College students?
I think the main advice is not to be shy and to try to express yourself as much as you can in all the different clubs and activities, and try yourself in different positions, like apply to different roles that you can really get lots of experience for the future life.
And you used to be a Braemar College president, is it right?
Yes.
Yeah, how was it? How did you get elected? Could you please share that experience?
When we were applying, I didn't think it could happen, sincerely, but then I decided to try because that's my personality. I said, okay, I'll try anyway. And sincerely, we did get elected. I would say, because we made a very nice speech. So all other candidates, they were just doing the boring speeches, and we decided to dance instead. That made our election
easy and smooth, yeah. So Sasha, if you need some advice on becoming Braemar College president, you can talk to Erica. She will give you some dance classes.
Approach, I would say, and making the way out of the situation, because sincerely we did prepare a speech. We were with Matt, we were like, he was like a co-president. He lost the speech on the way to the to the election. So we said we'll just dance instead, and yeah, that's how it went. But sincerely, when I was applying, I didn't think that there was a lot of chances of me being a president. So that's why my number one advice is to believe in yourself in a way, and to try different things without even the idea of winning or doing, because it might actually work.
Okay, Maxim?
Yes.
Any advice for future students?
This would be, expect a family-like environment there. It's all friendly, so just take it less seriously, enjoy your time there. And yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Just make the most out of this time, yet just don't stress out about it. It's a very nice school, so talk to people, enjoy it. It's a very, very good and open environment.
Thank you, Maxim. Thank you. And Liam, any advice for future Braemar College students? Oh, you are muted.
I just reiterate that it's very important to stay on top of your work, given how short the courses are. And then just get involved with the clubs at the school, so that you'll enjoy it the most.
Did you participate in any clubs yourself?
No, but I should have.
Should have. So what was your regret? Like, what would you, where would you participate right now if you would come back?
I'm not sure. It's just general advice for people going in.
I see. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, Liam. Thank you very much, Bill. Thank you, Erica, Maxim, and Sasha. Now we would be happy to answer any questions our potential parents have. You can speak because there are not many parents here. So if you like, you can unmute yourself.
Hi there. Thank you so much, everyone. This is Tanya.
Hi, Tanya.
I'm based in Toronto, and I have a son who's currently in grade 8, and we're looking at high school options for him. And for me, the culture of the school, as well as the culture of the teaching staff, is really important. So my son is very bright, very opinionated, very curious and political, but he cares a little less about producing. So he's a great consumer of knowledge and very curious in that respect, but I would say where he struggles is in his output of what it is that he's thinking and sharing about. And so I guess I'm curious about two things. Socially, how someone like that would fit in a school like this. So that's more from a peer perspective. And then the second piece of that would be how the teachers, how you feel as students, the teachers manage that kind of personality.
So if we could start with Sasha, who is a current student right now.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Ooh, okay. So really, I have a son who is really bright, really curious, really political, sometimes controversial in his opinions. Like he loves philosophy and history and political science, and but he can, and so he loves to consume knowledge, but he's not very good at producing knowledge. And I'm curious about two things: how teachers would manage someone like him, the kind of approaches that teachers use to students. It isn't that he's not a motivated student. He's a very motivated student and he's very interested. And the second piece would be how other students might engage with someone like with him. So what the social interactions are like with diverse personalities.
Most teachers are extremely tolerating of students, and they try to accommodate them the best they can. And I think, honestly, that your son would still do very well at Braemar, even if he's more of a consumer of knowledge than a producer of knowledge, and even if he can be controversial. Honestly, that is even sometimes welcomed. A fresh opinion or something that can be discussed, like as a class, is welcomed. And the social environment for him would still be pretty good. From my friends at Braemar, some of them have wildly different opinions from each other. Some of them are very controversial. Some of them are pretty sort of central. So I think, honestly, your son would still do very well. Sure, there might be a bit more accommodation needed, but I still think, honestly, that he would do rather well and might bring something unique and interesting to the school itself.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry, Tanya, I didn't ask, did you address this to somebody? Or it was just general?
No, it's just a general, like to anyone who might feel like they have something they want to add or share.
Mm-hmm. Anybody would like to? Hi?
Hi, it's Bill. Yeah, I just wanted to add to that, like, or just to give a parent's perspective on what happened with Liam in just 1 year. Like when you think about, because of the semester system, there's a lot of chances to learn and then actually reapply it again in the next semester. So where there's 4 semesters in the year, it's you get a lot more faster feedback. And I know from watching Liam's his first written assignments to his last written assignments, there's just absolutely no comparison in terms of the quality of the work that he was turning in. I wouldn't classify Liam as having, he definitely had a lot of, he's got a thirst for knowledge, but his writing was not there really even at the start of the year as it was at the end of the year. There's a complete difference with what he was turning in. And, by the end of the year, he'd essentially built a whole business practice around, okay, this is what's being asked for. I have templated documents, and I start to fill in the templated documents in a very methodical approach. So he really wrapped a bit of a business approach around his education, and it really did change a lot within 1 year.
But yeah, I hadn't considered that, like the opportunity for like fast learning and fast feedback in that kind of structure. That's good to hear. Thanks.
Okay. Any other questions from anybody else who is here?
I have more questions, but I'll let the other parent jump in first so that I don't hog the space.
Oh, that's okay. I think that they're quiet for now. Maybe you could continue.
Okay, sure. So my other question is how does the school have experience with LGBTQI students? So students who are not straight, essentially.
Yeah, we do have such students, and the thing is, I was on mat leave for 1.5 years. I just came back, but I don't know whom we have now. But who can answer this, guys? Because really, like you were in the student body, and how was it? Anybody had experience? Sasha, please go ahead.
So concerning LGBTQ plus students, I do have friends who are part of the LGBTQ community, and they are normally just welcomed. There's not really any issues per se with the social cohesion going on between LGBTQ students and those who are not a part of that demographic. There isn't a necessary large population of LGBTQ students at Braemar, though. However, there has never been I can't think of an incident of, say, bullying or isolation or anything like that because of them being part of that demographic. So I honestly think that that Braemar is very welcoming, and the students themselves, even if they are from the other side of the world and it might be viewed completely differently there, are still open to the LGBTQ community.
Thank you, Sasha. Thank you very much. Anybody else, guys? Erica, Maxim, any experience?
Jumping to answer both of the questions at the same time. There was some students when we were studying back in 2020, and sincerely, we didn't saw any difference in between not straight students and versus straight. I mean, there was no labeling. We just treated everybody the same. There was no even, I mean, we weren't really even interested in that topic. It's a student, we're studying together. We had fun all together. We were friends. So there's no even like identification by this. So I definitely, Braemar is a very diverse students, just as they come from different countries, different cultures. I think everything is accepted at Braemar, and you're never labeled by any way. And also to answer the first question, it sounds that your son is very diverse, and it sounds like he's interested in many different subjects and topics. So I think Braemar would again be the great choice, because compared to other schools, you can really select your subjects and you can really double down on the topic that you're the most strongest. And also for the practical experience that your son looks like might be lacking, Braemar is, I would say, it's more on a practical side, and so that might be very beneficial to make your son more well-rounded on the practical side.
Great, thanks.
Thank you, Erica. Thank you, Sasha. Any other questions? Tanya?
I do. I have one more question. This one is specifically for Sasha, because I'm assuming you're a Canadian student, Sasha, and is Toronto your home?
Yes, I'm living in Toronto.
What kinds of, do you find that there's still social opportunities within the school? Like, do you find that your friends are part of your, are most of your friends from outside of the school, or do you have a lot of friends from within the school that you hang out with and go out with and do kind of quote unquote normal high school things with?
No, actually, I'd say majority of my friends I actually met at Braemar. Like, I mean, I only really have one friend outside of Braemar. That's my best friend, but like, but majority of my friends are actually from Braemar. I got friends from Ukraine. I have friends from Russia. I have friends from Mexico, and I do hang out with them outside of Braemar, and we do have social interactions and hangouts with those people. So I'd say that socially, despite the fact these are international students, it is pretty much typical of the ordinary high school. In fact, it's even better in a way. It's great to be able to just be friends with someone from Ukraine. It's fantastic to be able to be friends with people from all around the world. And I think that it's enriched my life.
Yeah. I think my son would love that. I work for an international organization, so he's used to having a lot of exposure to people, well, pre-COVID times, and people all over the world, you know, in and out of the house and through our travels and where we've lived. But I was just curious about, you know, that not coming at the expense of a quote unquote normal high school experience for him.
No, I don't think you'd be losing that normal sort of high school social experience at all. I think it's really just the same thing with a little extra garnish, if you will. It's actually quite nice.
That's great. Right, okay, one last question, and then I will, since I'm the only other person here, I figure I can dominate the question period of this. But you've all talked about the great experience, but if you were to say from when you think about your teachers and your favorite teachers in particular, could you tell me, and this is for all of you, one or two things about them that made them really stand out for you?
Let's start with Sasha.
I think a big thing that stood out with some of my favorite teachers was they were simply just passionate to understand the students and teach them accordingly. And most of them are also extremely generally knowledgeable. A very few, I haven't met one yet that was just specialized in one subject and was completely clueless about the other. In fact, I actually feel that I think that most of them are extremely passionate, and I think that is my favorite quality in those teachers.
Great, thanks.
Thank you, Sasha. Erica, could you add up something? Who was your favorite teacher, and what are their qualities that you can speak of?
I think my favorite, there was a couple of my favorite teachers. I would say Devon. The English teacher is really amazing and bringing the best from different students, various background. He's really, I wouldn't say he's very light on students. He definitely push you to bring the best and to do your best, especially he was an English teacher where I think we learned our first language. But I'm really, really grateful to him for all the knowledge and different controversial subjects that we discussed in his classes. It was really like we watched the Notebook movie, I remember. We watched different, more like adults subjects and movies that I think that he really brought that different perspective and he really contributed to the knowledge that we gain in Braemar.
I see. Thank you, Erica. Maxime, did you have any favorite teachers in Braemar College?
I love them all, so it's hard to distinguish one of them.
What was your favorite, the favorite one? Or?
Well, it's been 8 years, and the fact that I remember all of them means they're all were my favorites. But people who stand out was Eva, the science teacher, physics, chemistry, Matthew Cho, math teacher. So he would go into great extent to, if you were willing to, he would stay overtime and like digger into the math problems with you. He would send students to mathematical competitions. Eva would do the same with the physics. Then David, of course, the English teacher, was an excellent person, and talking to him was so much fun. Just, again, besides school curriculum, talking to him on the novels and other things was a lot of fun. Virginia was an excellent teacher. She was the best at finding unique approach to each student. So yeah, those are the 4 teachers that were my favorite, but I think every teacher in Braemar is quite unique and have good skill set to be a teacher. And also I just wanted to add about your first questions is the first one, you said that your son is opinionated with sometimes controversial ideas and he likes to discuss it. I think the Braemar is a great place because, as I remember just now, all my friends, we were all very opinionated people with very different opinions, and that was the critical part of fun, was to discuss those opinions together and share ideas. And we all were, everybody was different, but we all were together in the same school and we shared our ideas. We discussed it after school, in school. As I mentioned, we didn't have clubs, but we didn't need them because we were just, organizing our own leisure time. The second question was about the consuming knowledge. He's good at consuming knowledge, as far as I recall.
Yes.
And worse at producing.
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of good practices. I could see it from my sister right now. What they do is like, there is an increased encouragement to participate during the course. So the teacher would ask questions, and there is also a participation component of the mark in each course, which develops the need to participate rather than just consume. Because I think my sister is also like, she's very brilliant. She's very good at consuming knowledge, but sometimes she's just shy to express her ideas and knowledge. And I think those mandatory, they're minor, but they're mandatory steps in the process of evaluating your academic performance are very, very prone to develop your expressions. Also, when I was a student, there was an independent study unit where you would also have to take a topic and develop the whole presentation and the whole concept based on that topic. I don't know if it's still in place, but we did that in all the physics courses, in chemistry course, and in math, where we would have to have a specific topic and develop our own idea on that and then present it to the whole class. So those mandatory things are very good for developing a habit of expressing knowledge.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maxime. And Liam, who was your favorite teacher in Braemar College?
Mr. Dunsmore, definitely. I liked the way he talked, was very calm and competent, and that he was also very passionate, willing to answer questions, and encourage students to participate.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like, by the way, we're recording this, so I will let them know how you feel about them. Unfortunately, Devin is not with us anymore because of pandemic. He decided to stay home and teach his son. He has now a small school at home.
You would never shake hands even before pandemic.
Yeah, smart. So yeah, but everybody else, Matthew Chow, Eva, Sean Densmore, they are with us and they are part of the team, and we love all of them. And any other questions, Tanya, since you are the only one?
Okay, I keep saying last question and then I think of another one.
That's great. Yeah.
Did you feel, because really what we're looking for is, both that my son is happy and thriving, but also that he's well prepared for university. Did you feel like Braemar prepared you well for university?
Let's start with Erica.
I would say 100%, because everybody keeps saying Blair from Braemar College, and everybody keeps saying the university would be more tough than Braemar. But I was also like Maxime, I was taking 3 courses in a semester my last year. And also I believe Blair and the school principal at that time, they recommended me they didn't recommend me to take 3 subjects, but they said that it might prepare me better for the university. Sincerely, when I entered university, I felt like I was even over-prepared. I felt the university was much easier than what I did at Braemar the last year. So I definitely say that I was prepared, even though that I wasn't from Canada and I wasn't, like, my English skills and different culture, I would still say that Braemar got me really, really prepared for university, for my bachelor degree, for my master degree, and even for the life after.
Thank you, Erica. Maxime?
Yes, that's a very good question, because at the university, in the university right now, you're studying together with a lot of international students who have different levels of preparation. And I would say that we were very well prepared up to the end of the year 1 of the university. So that was very good. Like, there were no topics in the first year that would be too challenging to acquire. And that's especially important when you have students coming from India, from China, from European countries, where they have their own standards for the high school students. And some say that, let's say, students from China come prepared up to the 2nd, 3rd year. So I would say Braemar was very good at this, and you felt competitive with other students coming from abroad, as well as the local students.
Great.
Thank you, Maxime. And Liam, how was your experience in university now? Did Braemar prepare you?
Very good. I feel Braemar really prepared me too, by having me write university level or higher essays in high school, really set me up properly.
Okay. Okay, great. So it's too early, I guess, to ask Sasha. I'm sure he has an opinion on that, but let's ask him in a couple of years. Yeah, we'll see in a couple of years. Any other questions from anybody? From Tanya?
No, that's it for me. I'm good. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time.
Thank you, Tanya. If you would like, I noticed that you visited our virtual booth on Saturday. It was Saturday. So if you would like to come in person, and I will just show you around and you will see the environment of the school. You know, when you speak with the principal, with the director, when you just come in, you will feel what their students talking about. And actually this is true. So it's better to always come in person and you will see the atmosphere.
Yes, I'm certainly keen to do that. I'm just waiting to hear what the province direction is these days, because I know right now.
Yeah, we know, all of us know.
Yeah, right now.
So anyway, we have still time until September. So definitely we will find time for you. And you have my email. Feel free to email me and ask me any questions or anything you can think of.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tanya.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Guys, I would like to tell big thank you from all of us in Braemar. And I know this is really busy time and you have a busy schedule with your work, with your studying. And thank you, Bill. Thank you, Erica. Thank you, Leah, Maxim. Thank you for joining us. And Sasha, of course. So this was great to have you. So I really appreciate your time. If you need anything, please, you have my email. Let me know. We'll be happy to help you in any way.